food bank. Right now, we donate to Jewish Family Services, which is an organization that's actually across the street from us, and they're a really great group of people, and so we donate to them. Concern for ecosystems is number 8. Part of why I'm here, to talk about sustainability with products, as well as not just products we carry, but how we words are failing me right now. Practices we have in the store, make sure that they are sustainable and good for the environment. And number 9, concern for workers. We are one of the first stores in Seattle where the workers were unionized, and we are union members with UFCW 3000. And as someone who previously worked at a non-union store, I am very grateful for our union, and yeah, there's some politics behind that, but I'm just, as a union member, I'm very grateful. And then skilled cooperative management. Here we go. So our management works with a national organization called National Cooperative Grocers, and they work on learning from each other and other co-ops around the country about best practices to make sure the co-op is thriving and best helping our members. Strategic leadership. So the managers and board will work together to create a strategic plan that steers the co-op in the right direction to benefit consumers, members, workers, and the community as a whole. We continue to solve problems day by day. You know, there are a lot of fires that can happen in a day that need to be put out, but it's all to make sure that the co-op stays running and keeps going in the future for everybody and folks like you. And then last, we have innovation culture, and that is partially to always make sure that the co-op is continuing to work for the community and making sure we can make the changes necessary, in addition to finding those fun new products that everybody wants to try. You know, part of 2 things that Joan wanted me to talk about also was that the main focus of the co-op is that we're keeping the money in the community, and the money that we donate and food that we donate is community organizations. It's not, we're not, sending it off to some corporate office that, does it on its whim. It's staying in the community and keeping things local. And I've been told that you guys are big fans that we don't have junk food. And I've been told that you guys like that it's fresh stuff, so that's pretty good. So a little bit also about how our specific co-op is structured. So again, a co-op is an enterprise that owned and operated by its members, and they tend to have values of equity, solidarity, democracy, and other things that benefit their community. Our co-op, as a result, is very different from other grocery stores. So our goal is not to make profit as much as possible for our shareholders. And for those who don't know, grocery is a business where the margin is very, very thin. So if that's how you want to if that's why you're going into business, you kind of didn't make the right decision going into grocery. But that's not our goal. Our goal is to provide food and resources to our community and safety and stability for our workers, and to be a hub for folks in the community, and just to make sure everybody's got food. The other thing that's really important is that the co-op structure focuses on different communities' needs that other communities might not have. So the fact that we're able to focus in Seattle, the decisions that are being made are because of what we're experiencing here in Seattle. When I worked at larger chain stores, they had to make decisions about national trends and national stuff, and that sometimes really hurt the folks that were in one individual store. And so because we are a small community store, we can focus on that and not be held to the whim of some, byline on a Excel spreadsheet. Like I said earlier, our co-op board is 9 members, 3 workers, and maximum of 3 workers, maximum of 3 consumer members, and then we have our executive gets a seat. His name is Ron Lawrence. He's a really great man. And what's great about the board is that it focuses that the co-op and the management of the co-op is accountable to its members, rather than the other way around, where a CEO can kind of just like tell customers that, they're sure out of luck because I'm not going to carry this thing anymore. We also have standards in products that other stores don't have. A vast majority of our products are organic and GMO free. I was telling Joan earlier, where's my little laser pointer? Here we go. So one thing that's really awesome is that 98% of our produce is organic, and 90% of it comes from farms in Washington, and then a larger percentage is farms from Oregon. So because we have these local farm relationships, we can get stuff that's in season and super, super good. I brought the fall thing since it's September. I don't know where summer went, but here's fall. For those who've anybody's gone to the co-op in the last week? Show of hands. Keep your hand up if you saw one of those Collins peaches. Yeah, I saw a bright smile right there from it. They are from a small family farm, and they are absolutely delicious. And they are only in the store for about a month a year, and they are just incredible if you ever can. We also will focus on products that have a sustainability mindset, and things like fair trade. So fair trade products are products that are certified that they are not exploitative of their workers. A really big example is things like chocolate and coffee. Especially chocolate. A lot of the cacao from chocolate comes from sub-Saharan Africa, and a lot of large companies do not treat workers very well, and so the co-op providing fair trade products allows us to focus again on that kind of people first aspect. In addition, we can focus on local producers. So I mentioned Collins Family Farm earlier. Another really fun thing is we get a lot of our flowers from a farm called Longway Farm in Carnation on the east side. And that is a farm that's actually run by one of our workers. So it's another kind of we're helping workers out, and we're helping local communities and organizations out. And then another really small company that we work with, as an example, is a company called Emerald Touch. They're a hair care company, and it's run by a really nice lady who I unfortunately forgot her name, but she lives and makes her products like several blocks away from the store, and she gets her bag and she brings them to the store, and we're able to put them on the shelf when she used to just kind of go door to door and sell them to her friends, and I think that's really awesome. And then I'm gonna do a little switcheroo here. Oopsie. Whoop. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the benefits of being a co-op member. So, members are our heart and soul at the co-op. Like I said earlier, we're still open even through the pandemic because we have a really awesome, loyal customer base, and we have members that are just really, I'm just really grateful for them, and I've been able to have, build relationships with members, and they're just really awesome. And so right now, membership is $100 for life. And you can do that $10 a month, or all at once, or anywhere in between. And once you pay $100, that's it. You're not going to get a recurring bill every year. It's just that $100, and you are buying a share of equity in the co-op. And members, remember we talked about, where is that? Oh, I can't find the dang button. Member economic participation. you are buying a share of the co-op, and as a result, the co-op is giving you benefits. So members get 4 10% off coupons per year, and that coupon can be used at any shopping trip of your choice. We have a lot of folks that will right before a big holiday meal or like the Super Bowl or Easter or what have you, they'll buy a ton of stuff and it's their biggest shop of the year, and so they use their coupon then. We have a lot of folks that wait till the very end of the year to buy, and they'll come in December 31st and they're like, this is the last day I'm using a coupon, and by golly, I'm here. We have folks that the first week of January, they're like, I'm going to use it right now or I'm going to forget. But you get 4 10% off coupons per year. Some other really great membership deals on Wednesdays. Members get 10% off our wellness items. So wellness items are things like supplements, lotions, health and beauty aids, shampoo, conditioners. Coming on Wednesday, that stuff's 10% off. It's pretty great. And then bulk 15. Ta-da! There we go. On the 15th of the month, items in our bulk section are 15% off for members. So those big old bins you scoop a container into, some of that stuff can be pretty expensive, especially some of the bulk spices and bulk teas. And if you come in on the 15th of the month, it is 15% off. And what's really fun is about every 6 months, the 15th ends up being a Wednesday. And we will have to schedule more cashiers that day because it is pretty busy. And the last thing about membership is that membership is refundable. So partially goes into voluntary membership. If you don't like us anymore or move away, you can close your membership, and however much equity you've paid in, you will get that refunded back to you. You know, hopefully we don't lose your business. But, you know, if you know, like I said, it's voluntary. And then kind of my last little spiel, we were going to talk about some of the sustainability options at the co-op, since I am a guest of the Environment Committee. Here we have, we call him Globy. This is a little guy that my boss actually drew. So sustainability is one of the core principles of the co-op, and so we want to make sure that we are doing things that positively impact the environment as well as a positive impact for our, consumers and workers. So we can do that in several ways. One thing that Joan asked me to talk about is our deli. Our deli section, has anybody had some of our deli soups, or we got some folks? Okay, well, we have a really great deli section, and we have some seating area. It's a lot of my folks take their breaks that way, and it's really great. And one of the things that is really important is that a lot of folks will, that's how they get their lunch for the day, and so there's a lot of packaging that can be thrown away in one day. So all of our deli packaging is sustainable and compostable. And so we highly encourage folks to use compostable materials any way you can. And in addition, we have paper bags for your shopping. Those are compostable. We also have kind of those produce bags that are, I don't know if you've seen those green bags. Those are actually compostable. And we also have separate ones for meat. And despite them being for meat, they are also compostable. And not last but not least on my list, our receipts are actually compostable. We found a company in Hawaii that makes compostable receipts. And so that's where our receipts come from. And then another way that really helps us, kind of a two birds, one stone thing, I mentioned earlier when this was a different poster about focusing on local produce. What some folks kind of don't realize when they are going to Safeway or Kroger and buying, say, grapes or apples, is sometimes a lot of that produce makes a really, really long journey before it gets to your fridge. Grapes in particular, a lot of folks don't realize, especially if they're out of season grapes from a supermarket, they can come from as far away as Argentina or South Africa. And so, when you're buying from us, from a local farmer, I mean, you don't have to worry about the fact that getting these grapes meant that there was a lot of carbon emissions from the planes and the trains and the automobiles and the John Candy and all that stuff. Another thing, our fish from our fish counter is sourced from wild, sustainable fisheries. It's not farmed fish, and that's another clear example where it's really easy to get fish from faraway locations that are really not good for the planet. But having us, we are also pretty lucky that we're in Seattle for that for that bit. And the other big one, I mentioned the bulk 15. Buying in bulk really cuts down on your personal plastic usage and packaging usage. So we have at the co-op several sections where you can buy items in bulk, most often in our wellness department that I mentioned earlier. Oh, I got the butterfly. Okay, hold on. There we go. As well as our kind of bulk food department. So a lot of grains, rice, beans, granolas, dried fruit. We have a variety of spices, teas. Just bring in your own container. We also sell containers that are glass and some plastic, multi-use plastic containers for you to use. And then we also have compostable single-use containers if you would like to use those. And that helps you and the co-op reduce the use of single-use plastics in our packaging. Another really big use of single-use plastics in your shopping is in the wellness stuff that I brought up earlier. So think about, like, you've got your shampoo bottles, your toothpaste, your conditioner, soap, body wash. That's a lot of bottles, and not only do we have a lot of that stuff in bulk items, we also have detergents and powders and stuff that reduce the amount of plastic in their packaging. I was given Carol from the Environment Committee has a paper called Safer Suds that was Joan sent me. That's really awesome. So if you know Carol, and you should ask for that. Carol Roach. Ask her for that list. It's pretty awesome. And then the other thing is that you could look at how a certain product is made. There are products that use a lot of palm oil, and for those who don't know, who's heard about the issues with palm oil? Okay, all of you. So you all know how destructive palm oil is to the forests, especially the forests of Borneo and Indonesia. And if you focus on buying products without palm oil, that's another way for you to have a more sustainable mindset. In addition, we have a lot of products that are plant-based alternatives to others. A big example of that would be we have a brand called Alba that makes a Vaseline that is not based in petroleum. It's based in plants. That is pretty awesome. We have a toilet bowl cleaner called E-Cover that does not have bleach in it. And there is also Eco Detergent is another brand that doesn't have bleach or harsh chemicals. And that is another brand that also has detergent strips, so it cuts down on plastic packaging. So there are a lot of ways for you to make an impact to make sure that your shopping is sustainable. And the co-op, one of our, principles is that we provide those resources to the community, and we give you that ability to, make those choices. So that kind of wraps it up for my spiel. But so kind of just to end my little talk is that, the co-op was founded almost 50 years ago for the benefit of its community and for its members and for its workers. And I can say that I'm doing my best to continue that legacy and that cooperative spirit. And yeah, you're always welcome. And, I hope to see you all soon at the co-op. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Now, if he forgot anything and you want to talk about what you love about the co-op, please do that. Or if you have any questions, and we've got some runners.
Do you have parking?
We do have parking. Okay, I moved this, so I don't. We do have parking. So our building has a garage above the store. The entrance is off Madison Avenue, and Joan has told me how y'all's bus. I don't remember the day, but I've been told that your bus starts coming to the co-op. It is now the stop is
Friday.
now co-op. Friday. Okay, and I've seen it in our garage. So yeah, we do have parking.
Also, you can go to Trader Joe's and walk down a block.
Get your steps in. Hey, that's good, right?
If anyone has dietary restrictions, for a long time I couldn't have wheat and I couldn't have dairy. And I tell you, the co-op saved my bacon. I could find anything made with almond flour. They have a fabulous yogurt, a little expensive but worth it, made from coconut that's to die for.
Is that the Cocoa Yo?
Yes.
Oh, that is a fan favorite.
Yes, and then the peanut butter and the almond butter that you grind there. Plus, they have a bathroom that very few stores have. And one day I couldn't get my car started, and one of the employees came to the garage and helped me out. It's a Honda where sometimes you can't turn the ignition, and the employee came and helped me get my car started. It's a great staff of people. They're very helpful and knowledgeable.
Well, hey.
And let's talk about the elevator. You go in one side and come out the other. You don't have to work your cart
You don't
around.
have to
I
turn
love that.
around. Ugh. Oh. I'm paid by the hour, so I'll take whoever's next.
How do you
Yes, ma'am. Oh.
how do you deal with shoplifters?
Shoplifting, unfortunately, is as someone who's worked in the co-op and grocery for 10 years, it's not something that I'm not sure is ever going to go away. Basically, we now have security at our store that focuses on shoplifters. The main thing is that we want to cut down on shoplifting, but safety of our consumers and our workers comes first before the value of the product. So we're not trying to cause fights. We're not trying to have WWE boxing smackdowns with shoplifters, because that is a safety concern and that can get other folks hurt. And a lot of shoplifting is prevention. So a lot of that is just presence in the store, and it is something that killing them with kindness is actually something. This is a situation where that does actually work a lot of times. And as someone who's been in management at the co-op, let's just say there are some familiar faces I know to get out when they come in. So it's to answer your question. It's not fun, but what I will say is that even though I deal with a shoplifter every once in a while. I deal with really awesome customers for the remainder of the time. And as someone who's worked at multiple grocery stores, the members and customers at the co-op are levels above other stores I've worked at in terms of just really nice customers, really loyal customers, and really nice people.
Marcia?
Yeah, I was wondering, what's the difference between PCC and the co-op?
Yeah, so PCC is Puget Community Co-op, and they've been around for a really long time. They also have a lot of stores. Yeah, and they are actually, fun fact, the largest co-op in the country in terms of size of endowment, if you will, as well as members, like the sheer number of members. And what I can say is we've gotten a lot of customer feedback from folks that like that we're just two stores. We have one in Seattle, one in Tacoma, and that they prefer us to PCC in that regard. And, I don't know too much about their structure as much as my store, but when you focus too much on like growth and opening other stores, there's a lot of things you lose, like that community aspect. And, if I were at my position at a PCC, I might not have the relationships with members that I do have. I am lucky that I'm able to know members by names, and if I was at PCC and continued my career growth at a PCC, I would be removed from that. So PCC has a lot more locations, and if some folks like that, that's their prerogative, but we only have the 2 locations, and we're keeping it that way, both from a worker and board standpoint, as well as our members have told us they want it to stay that way.
So I was a member in 1999.
Hold it like this.
You have to hold it straight out.
Straight up.
No, out.
Out.
Ice cream, like ice cream.
Ice cream cone. How's that?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I was a member in 1999 when the building got built, and I was in the minority when it came to the vote about calling it the Madison Market. I wanted to maintain the co-op name.
Well, you
And-
won in the end.
And well, this is where I'm my question. So I understood, though, that the idea behind Madison Market was to try to expand the outreach in the community and expand the, kinds of customers who might come and shop. I understood that. So I'm curious, what if you happen to know, you weren't around, but if you happen to know what led to the return to the Central Co-op name?
Remind me your name again, sir.
David.
David, if I had a gun to my head, I would not know the answer, unfortunately. I don't have a good answer. I'm sorry. I have no idea.
Okay.
But I can, if you want, I can, if you have an email address, I can ask my boss who might know. Okay.
I've been a member of PCC since it's. Have I got it?
Like ice cream cone.
Oh, I've been a member of PCC since it first started, but I've also been a member of the co-op, and I really like the flavor of the store. It's not massive like the PCC in the North End is, but it's just and the selection of foods seems more specific. So I shop at both, but sorry that I had to miss the co-op for quite a while when I got ill. Thank you.
I think that's something we can forgive.
Any questions?
Oh, I see one.
I'm not that familiar with the co-op.
But I was one of those who cut cheese when the PCC was starting a long time ago. I would just like to know, those of you who go a lot, what are your favorite items that probably are not handled in other stores? Can you give me some suggestions?
If anybody's shy, I can give some suggestions.
I love
too.
the bulk section where all the nuts and the seeds and the flour and the granola. It's massive. And I take my plastic containers up, hard plastic with lids, and then just put the number of the bin on tape that's there. And that's very popular.
You're a pro. The whole wheat flour that they sell in bulk. You make your own bread. That's really awesome. Yeah. Miss Joan?
Have in the deli section ham and roasted turkey that we could order and have it sliced.
Yes.
I don't see it anymore, and I really miss it.
So I can give you a little secret. So number one, I'm pretty sure we still offer it, even though we don't have it displayed. I'm 99% sure we still offer it, because that would be, in my view, really dumb to not offer it. If I was at the store right now, I would get on my walkie to confirm. But I'm pretty sure we do. We just, it might not be displayed. The other kind of secret I can give, don't tell my boss I told you, is that the deli right now, there has been a lot of turnover, and I mean, not like, it's not like we fired a bunch of people. It was just people left and went their separate ways, and so there's a overhaul of how the deli is being, what's going to be offered, what type of stuff we're offering, because that's actually one of the most expensive parts of the store, is because there's a lot of labor in making all that fresh stuff, as well as if there's a lot of like waste coming out of it, and that's another thing that's really hard for the co-op, is we don't want to waste food. So there is a lot of change coming for the deli. I am not exactly privy to what it is, but I kind of gave my 2 cents of we should like have folks build their own sandwiches, and then that would kind of increase the, like, we have to have sliced turkey and ham for folks like you. But to answer your question, I'm pretty sure we still have those options, even though it might not be displayed. And if you're there and I'm there, I can go back there and cut some for you. I'll make sure.
Saturday.
You know what? I'll be there on Saturday. We're going to get you some ham.
Are there any questions from the Environment Committee before we close this? Like Bonnie, Sue, Sherry?
Oh, people are being put on the spot. Ooh.
Well, we certainly thank you for coming. It was hard to find you because...
Yeah. So, yeah. And I'm sorry we had to, for those who were hoping for me to come last week, we kind of had an all hands on deck situation. And so I normally work the mornings, and I had to work some 12-hour days, unfortunately, at the co-op. But I'm really glad I got to come out here and see you all. And if any other questions come up, feel free to ask folks at the co-op. Joan has my email, and she can pass other questions along. If you want any help with applying for membership. You can also apply for membership online. The only difference is that the equity payment of $100, you do need to pay all of it up front when you pay for it online. But if you have any questions, you can pass them along to Joan, and she can pass them along to me. And if you're in the store, you can ask any one of us. Our folks are paid to answer questions, so don't feel like you can't answer or ask a question at all. Yeah. Anything else or? We do. Okay, so here's the big thing. Oh, the question was, do we allow Instacart shoppers? The answer is yes, specifically if you ask for delivery. So we used to have pickups in the store, and that was something that unfortunately we had to shy away from because of staffing. So we don't have the staff to put stuff like gather Instacart orders. So if you ask for delivery, we will do it. The one thing I do want to say about Instacart shopping, though, is that we give Instacart our prices, and they sometimes will change the price in their app. So not to if you need to Instacart because you are sick or or you're busy and you can't make it to the bus or something, that's your choice. But we've had some issues where we've given a price to Instacart, and then Instacart charges a customer a different price. And as a result, we can't necessarily do a refund via Instacart, as well as we've had some issues before where Instacart folks, like the Instacart shopper, will not always give the receipt to the customer, and so that kind of adds to the confusion. So I don't want to. I didn't say any of that to shame anybody that uses Instacart. I use DoorDash all the time. So so if you need to use Instacart, I'm not shaming you for that, but I just wanted to. That's my sense, my 2 cents, my piece. Okay. Well, thank you so much, and we'll see you at the co-op.